John Thune is down in South Dakota right now, and apparently he had a GOP meeting down there, and Scott Pressler was not allowed in there. In fact, they had his picture out front, and they said he can't be allowed in. They even had a sergeant in arms, this Matt Bruner, that came in, and he said he couldn't come in there, and he couldn't be allowed at the GOP there in South Dakota, and I guess he ended up getting fired for doing just that. So what do we got? That old song, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. Well, as long as I'm stuck in the middle with Trump, I think we're going to do just fine, because Trump does a lot of stuff. He's getting a lot of stuff done. But, of course, the socialists to the left and the RINOs to the right. John Thune, namely, him and a few others. You know, they got that guy over there in, was it Presley over there in Louisiana. Anyhow, this is going crazy. You got to come from all ends, and Trump's getting it done. Now, Trump's not going to allow anything to get passed. He's not going to pass anything. He's not going to sign anything for. They got some kind of a rent act that's coming up, and he's not going to sign that. It's on the table for him. It's passed. It's passed the House, and apparently they got it to the Senate, but he's not going to sign it until they implement this Save America Act. The Save America Act, it can't be done by reconciliation. It has to be rewarded to where the reconciliation will accept it. And what I understand, if they take off the one part saying that men can't be in women's sports, if they take that part off and they just go straight up with the Save America Act for voting, for legal voting, and if they do just that, then they can probably pass this. I don't know how Mike Johnson said he was talking with Trump this morning, and he said he can make this thing happen. He can make it work. Now they want a talking filibuster. They said talking filibuster can do it, but the Senate says they don't have enough time because they want to take a 19-day vacation, more than 2 weeks right now in this critical time when we need them to vote this in. And but the RINOs and the Republican Party is what's holding us up, and we need this because we need it. We not only need it for the government, for the U.S. government, but they also need it for the individual states, like California. If they pass the Save American Act and then we have legal voting, we won't have this illegal voting that's going on right now with, they're harvesting the votes here in California. They say it's legal, and because California passed it and they say it's legal, it makes it legal, then you can't do anything. But if they pass the Save America Act, we can get that done. It's not getting around anything. It's just doing the right thing. It's an 80-20. 80% of the people, they say maybe even 85% of the people, and 15%, of course, that's part of the Democrat Party that don't want it. And that's probably the socialists in the far, far left, of the party that doesn't want to save, because they want illegal voting. And apparently, I heard today that the U.S. Postal Service isn't going to deliver any ballots to any state. Now this is just what I heard. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. You have to check this out. But it sounds right. If they don't clean up their voter rolls, if these states aren't cleaning up their voter rolls like California, we're not going to get any ballots sent to us. They're not going to be mailed to us. And part of this Save America Act, this voting right, they don't want any voting. They didn't want any voting done that way anyhow in any state. It should be paper ballots. You go to your voting place and you vote. You give them your ID. You show proof of citizenship, and you can vote, because that's the way it should be done anyway. So we're going to see what happens there. But right now, President Trump isn't going to pass anything. They're talking about this FISA, and that Trump's got to pass this FISA bill that allow people in the government to actually spy on people, get FISA warrants to actually spy on different people. And that's what a FISA warrant does. He's not going to sign anything. Nothing's going to get through. Nothing's going to pass. It almost makes you think that the cartels in some way are in charge here. Somehow they got a hold of John Thune, maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, because I don't know. But maybe Because the cartels, they got a lot of money and they got a lot of influence. They're here in the United States. They're abroad. I mean, they're around the world, especially here in Central America. They got some, they can feed into what's happening in the United States. But Trump is not, so that's just something to think about. But Trump's not going to pass anything. And I don't blame him. He's not going to pass anything until he gets what he wants. And what he wants is the Save America Act passed. And John Thune and the Senate are holding us up. I mean, I never really thought too much about it before, but, I kind of like John Thune. I like the way he is. I've always liked his personality. But he's a RINO. This guy is a RINO. If he doesn't do what Trump wants him to do, what he wants to, that's, if you got a Republican leader of the Senate, he's got to follow in step with the president, right? It goes the same thing if it's a Democrat leader and they got to follow in step with the Democrat president. Well, this is a Republican president, and this is what he wants. And John Thune should be doing everything he can to get this thing passed. Not send the Senate out on a 19-day vacation, a recess, if you will. That doesn't happen, and that's not proper. They need to pass this bill. If they pass this bill, it's going to make our voting so much better. Look what happened in California in the primaries here recently. Look what happened in the primaries in New York. And this is something that a lot of people are saying, well, the primaries in New York, there a lot of socialists won. Hakeem Jeffries don't even have control of he's a minority leader in the House. And then he doesn't have control over there. And it's I don't like Hakeem Jeffries anyway. But this Johan Mondami, he's pushing these other democratic socialists, okay? This Saeed in Minnesota, they've got this Rahman in L.A. running for mayor in L.A. And Spencer Pratt, don't hang it up yet. Don't throw in the towel yet. You still might have a shot to run for mayor of Los Angeles. At least that's what Trump says. So I believe pretty much everything that Trump says. He's a pretty smart guy. He does have a degree in economics, right? The guy knows what he's doing. But Thune, you Senate Democrats, are just not just Senate Democrats, but the Senate Republicans, you guys need to coalesce together and pass the Save America Act. Whatever it takes, whether it be a talking filibuster, where they do it by reconciliation, however it has to be done, it has to be done, because this is something that most Americans, 85% of Americans, this is Republicans, Democrats, Independents alike, they all want this. So let's get it passed, okay? And I guess John Thune has already been censored by his party there in South Dakota. I heard that this morning, how far they've gotten on that and what they're going to do about that. But they censored John Thune this morning, and because he had that GOP meeting over there this morning that he wouldn't let Scott Presler. I guess he helped in over 40 states. He helped President Trump get a lot of voters enrolled, a lot of Republican voters enrolled to help President Trump win the presidency, and they kicked him out. They just wouldn't let him in, and I don't know much more about it than that. But this is something that President Trump wants, and this is something he needs to get. So anyway, we'll have more on this tomorrow, I'm sure. So this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. Please subscribe, hit that like button and share, and please comment, especially if you got something that I'm not too sure about and you got some more information, you want to give me some more information, please give me that information and I'll talk about it. So I'll see you next time on Coffee Break. Thanks.